Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all is well. I'm here with someone who really needs no introduction. My coach, my mentor, Mr. Clavon Browning, someone who has been around the block for 27 plus years in the network marketing industry, obviously producing and generating multiple millions in this industry. And what I want to say is, about 11, 12 years ago, we had the honor of meeting. And the reality is, I had 3 years of network marketing experience with no results. And Mr. Browning and I connected online. And from connected online, we did business to the point whereby he came to Trinidad and Tobago, and he was in Trinidad for about 10 days. And I remember spending 10 days with Mr. Browning where he would share every single day information with me. And I kid you not, friends, after those 10 days, I started to rise in the industry of network marketing. My career really kicked off after meeting Mr. Browning. And I have the honor of sharing him with you, his knowledge with you today. Because we're going to ask him a couple of questions so that we could pick his brain, we could pick his mind. And hopefully we have people on the screen who has a hunger, who has a desire to escalate in the industry of network marketing, to provide for yourself and your family, to earn 6 and 7 figures in this space. So again, we have none other than Mr. Clavon Browning. Mr. Browning, how are you feeling, sir?
Oh man, I'm excited. We're on the beaches of the world.
Correct.
Everything is beautiful. It's a beautiful day. And, kudos to you.
Thanks a lot.
Keeshon, they say when the student is ready, the teacher appears, a teacher appears.
Right.
And that's what happened. I mean, you were so ready.
Yeah.
You had made commitments. You had prepared yourself. You had been refined through the fire. And when I met you, I saw something different. I saw something that reminded me of myself, some years back. A hunger, a tenacity, a commitment to excellence.
Yeah.
You wanted it. And maybe that's a blessing from God. Maybe it's a salute to something that's inside of you that you've cultivated.
Yeah.
But it's a very special thing. And what you've done since that time till now has been remarkable. You've touched a lot of people. And so, we celebrate you.
Appreciate it.
And I know I can speak on behalf of, Trinidad and Tobago and other Caribbean nations and, teams you've built from here to Africa that I know about. I think everybody says thank you.
Yes, sir.
To the work you've done.
Appreciate. And I want to go directly into some questions because I know there's someone out there who has a hunger, just like me, just like you when you got started.
Yeah.
And, I want to speak to them who has the hunger and also guide them along the way by asking you, how important is mentorship? Because I've seen a lot of people try to muscle themselves to success without having a mentor, somebody that went before that can really guide them and give them, I would say, coaching.
Well, if everything that you wanted, if you could have it based on what you're doing now without a mentor,
Right.
you'd already have it.
I remember you saying this to me a couple of years ago. Can you say that again for the camera? Because this is powerful.
No, just in simple talk, the things that you want, your goals and dreams. If you were everything you needed to be right now to accomplish it, you'd already have it.
Powerful.
The bottom line is you have to get out of your own way sometimes, seek mentorship, seek counsel, have someone that can give you a different view, add on to your knowledge, your understanding, your wisdom, even give you accountability. There's so many things that happen when you find a mentor or when a mentor finds you.
Understood.
But it's very important.
Quick question. I mean, I remember hearing a lot of stories from you about some of the great mentors you would have had in the industry of network marketing.
Wow.
And I just want to ask you a powerful, simple question. Can you think about 1 or 2 concepts or philosophies that were shared with you by a mentor that you know for certain distinctly change your entire career in the industry of network marketing. And you know that if you didn't hear that concept or those words, you know you would not have gotten to the next level.
Well, you know, a combination of some of my early mentors, like the great Delzino
Yes.
Wilson DiBriano, the great Robert Clay Jr., you know, even modern leaders like the great Holton Buggs.
Yes.
You know, these men as a collective reminded me of some of the principles in scripture that I hold dear to my heart. Where there is no vision, people perish. And that principle was given to me in my infancy in this industry.
Right.
So everybody wants freedom in one way, shape, or form, Keeshon. Time, freedom, financial freedom. The thing is this: you have to be able to paint a picture of freedom for a person, for a team.
Yeah.
And then the opportunity is simply the vehicle to accomplish that freedom. You know, putting those that are assigned to you in vision mode, giving someone a vision for the future will allow them to weather the current day storms because they're so emotionally wrapped up into where they're going. The pain of today gets smaller and smaller and smaller. And if that makes sense, I would say that that is one of the original principles from mentorship that I say the gift that keeps giving.
Makes sense. Let me ask a little on that concept to dig a little deeper.
Yes.
So in other words, are you saying if you're in the industry of network marketing right now and you're putting in work, you're sharing the plan, you're sharing the product, and you're not sharing a vision, chances are excellent you're not going to get to the level of success that the industry offers. Are you saying that, and why?
Absolutely, because one of the keys to life is your ability to invent with your imagination new possibilities. And not just silly fantasies, but real possibilities surrounded around freedom, surrounded around your goals, your dreams, what you want, what you need, what you desire. And after inventing those possibilities with the mind, then living into them with everyday present day words, thoughts, and actions. And so that's how we live our lives as leaders. But then when you are now responsible for another person, people don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Yeah.
So when you interview that person before they enroll or at the beginning of their launch, you find out their goals and their dreams, what they want, what they need.
Yeah.
And you help them invent those possibilities. You help them believe bigger. You help to cast a vision around those new possibilities.
Yeah.
And that is when vision mode begins. And without that, you're like a carpenter with no tools.
I remember the
difficult.
first time we had this conversation, and I'm going to share with you the action that took place after you shared that concept with me. At that point in time, I was starting off in the industry, didn't have much money, and you said, Keeshon, you have to see yourself the way you want to be in the next 3, 4, 5 years. You have to envision that and act on that today. After that conversation, I remember going into my wardrobe because I didn't have money to buy all the fancy suits as yet. And I had a suit that was bought because I went to a wedding, I think a month or two before. And I remember putting on that suit, borrowing a shirt from my brother. And, you know, just putting some dressy clothes together. And then you said, Keeshon, you have to go in the environment where wealth and affluence is. And I have those pictures today.
Wow.
When I took those clothes, I put them together, but because my vision of myself was now to operate and act today, in the future, I went to Hyatt and I took some pictures. And I had some team leaders at that time, take some videos. But I have the pictures today.
Wow.
And it was the first really shift. Because I started to dress the way I wanted to dress 5 years in the future today. And it did it for me. So I know the information that you're sharing works.
Wow. That's amazing. No, it's amazing.
I remember that conversation.
That is beautiful. There's a saying, maybe you've heard it. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve.
Yeah.
You've heard that?
Yes.
And when you break that down, it's because the mind is simply not able to conceive something that is not already a reality.
Yes.
So a leader's assignment is understanding how to harness energy, cultivate energy, and then deploy energy.
Right.
And in a mental world, in a conscious world, that energy is your imagination, it is thought, it's intentionality. So again, if you can conceive it, the odds are almost 100% that in some way, shape, or form, it exists.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to do the work to draw it into your current reality?
Wow. Powerful.
And that's what you experienced.
Yes. So vision casting, friends, take that note, cast the vision, make it clear, and start speaking into existence what you want tomorrow, today. So that's point one. Any other powerful concepts that were shared to you by some of the great mentors that made the shift in your career?
The second one is very simple because there's hundreds of them.
Right.
But the second one is the simplest and the one that separated our business movements from others.
Right.
And it was the power of edification. A lost art, a lost science. The act of using words to build up another person.
Yes.
Or a group of people, to empower them with words. So then now they can now be empowered to help you build your business through third-party edification.
Yes.
I find that to be something missing in many families, in many communities, and of course many business groups. But however, there's something spiritually profound about not just the power of the word, with life and death being in the power of the tongue, but using that word to build up those around you. Because we're here to build, not destroy.
Correct.
So if I can build you up with words and have others sincerely admire you and respect you, and then leverage that respect and admiration, so now you have the influence to help me move people forward.
Correct.
Oh, it's a beautiful science. And that is an early thing that I learned. And it was life-changing.
Yeah.
Because like most of us, no matter where you are in the world, I come from, the trenches of urban America.
Yeah.
Where things can get, just very competitive and, the tenacity that exists in some of the communities where there is not as much resources in abundance. You can lose that grace.
Yeah.
You can lose that compassion and even that love for your brothers and your sisters. You can find yourself becoming self-absorbed and selfish.
Yeah.
But through the power of edification, it's very therapeutic and very healing for an individual, for a community, for a business group. So I recommend that. That was a very That would be number 2.
Awesome. And I want to comment on that because I'll tell you all this, right? The first time Mr. Browning taught me the science of edification, not sitting if you remember, but I can't forget, we were actually having dinner after meeting in Pizza Hut. I was taking notes on a napkin, not sitting if you remember.
Of course I do. I do.
I was taking notes on a napkin, and Mr. Browning was sharing with me the science of edification. And, you know, while taking those notes, he was saying, listen, Keeshon, he was saying this to me, there are 4 people in the world. There are sharks, there are dolphins, there are urchins, there are whales. And he was sharing the personalities that was attached to these fishes. Sharks want to make money. Dolphins, they want to have fun. Whales, they urchins, sorry, you know, they want to get information. Dolphins, they want to help people. And you say every single time you stand in front of a crowd, you speak to these 4 people, but to edify, to build someone up so that they can come after you and help you make the money. And I'll tell you this, sir, I mastered those notes on that napkin so much that when I went to other companies, the top guns in those companies would not want to come on a stage without having me edify them first.
Wow.
Literally, like I remember having some of the top leaders in other companies say, listen, Keeshon is going to edify me today. And little do they know, you know, those blocks, that foundational blocks, took place in Pizza Hut on a napkin.
Yeah.
And that's the reality. So powerful, friends.
That's amazing.
Question, who are you edifying in your organization?
That is the key. That's a good question. Is that a question for me?
One more powerful concept or principle that you got from one of your great mentors.
You know, I don't know, maybe the game has changed a little bit.
Right?
Right? So because we're going back a couple of decades. So I don't want to sound like, you know, grandpa network marketer, you know. I'm not sure that these things would still work today, but it's what changed my life back then.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, back in the day, when you saw a diamond in the rough, when you saw that needle in the haystack, you know, that young lady that was just special.
Yeah.
That young man that made no excuses.
Yes.
One thing that I saw that was prevalent, that my mentors or a couple of key leaders did for me, it was immediately stretching a leader, stretching them from the concept of getting them out of their comfort zone.
Yes.
And it's so simple because we can go deep.
Yeah.
But the simplest concept was like road trips. You know, I used to have leaders that I was so enamored by my leadership, by their success. I had never seen it before.
Right.
You know, and so they would have me do things like get on a train and travel from one city to the next. And I'd meet them in that city, and then they would be in the vehicle, the luxury vehicle waiting for me at the train station. Then we would embark on a 7-hour car ride. You know, I just did my part coming down the coast on the train. Then they picked me up, and then we'd go on this 7-hour car ride just to go to a weekend regional event.
Okay.
And they would talk to me the entire ride about mindset and putting me in vision mode. And by the time that trip was over, the weekend regional and then driving back and then train back up to my hometown, I was a different person. I was a different person. So, you know, Keeshon, having, you know, your leaders travel, getting them out their comfort zones, testing their hunger and tenacity, getting to events, putting value on the front row.
Yes.
Sitting on the front row, having your guests on the front row, because value is everything.
Correct.
There's no place for complacency when you're fighting for freedom, because freedom is not free.
Correct.
And so everything must be done with energy. And when you go into an event, and you're fighting for that front row, it's a different focus.
Yes.
It's a different hunger. You want your guests to be right up there so they can see the shoes that leader is wearing. So they can see the quality of the fabric of the garments of that suit. But it puts you in a mindset of a winner.
Yes.
No, this is what was poured into me day one, event number one, season number one, traveling to events because the value was created. So let me just tell you something. Everything I'm saying is a tree with many branches.
Correct.
One branch of this tree, I must say, is the power of promoting events.
Yes.
Because that's value. Mm-hmm. That's the only reason why I would get on a train and take a 7-hour car ride and this and that and go my entire career never missing an event.
Powerful.
Never missing an event that I was qualified for. Mm-hmm. A regional, a convention, never missing because I was obsessed with getting the information because the information was transformative as it pertains to me becoming what I needed to be to get what I wanted.
Correct.
So this last nugget in this category of questions is about not just promoting events, but being a master of creating enough value that people would make the impossible possible.
Possible, yeah.
The undoable doable. You got to get to the point where when you cast a vision and you create value,
Correct.
people's excuses, they evaporate.
Yeah.
Because they're so excited, you know?
Yeah, yeah. And I want to comment on that again because I've had my experience with you giving me that information. So one, for those who know me personally, anytime I enter a room, the room could actually be filled. I'm going to walk right up to the front row to see if there's a seat. Chances are, it may have a seat there.
Yes.
And I know I'm supposed to be in the front row, but obviously I'm going to get there early. But I got it from Mr. Browning. I mean, even my lovely wife, usually when we walk into rooms, you know, she would notice that I walk directly to the front row of every room. You know?
A great habit.
Great habit. And even to confirm how you stretched me when I just got involved in the industry, I remember you saying, Keeshon, let's do a Skype call, because we were doing Skype calls back in the days. And you said, listen, I want you to fill this call, I want you to fill this room. And I did. And I remember you not showing up. And at the end of the call, you gave me a call. And you said, how did it go, champ? How did it go, partner? And then you said, I remember, you said eagles allow their young ones to grow wings on the way down.
Develop the wing muscles.
Develop the wings on the way down. And let me tell you this, from you throwing me out, I grew those muscles. I couldn't have presented that well at that time, but I have to say that you throwing me out made me a master. Thanks for that, appreciate.
And that, you know, what that does right there, that leads to another nugget.
Yeah.
But these are all the principles that are not reserved to you and I or this conversation. These are the principles of the game.
Yeah.
But you just spoke to me about, you know, just the power of duplication.
Yes.
Because that was done to me.
It was.
Of course. The master, Mr. Steve Donaldson. No show.
Serious.
I had no time for rage. I had no time to be upset, to cuss him, to curse him. I had to deliver.
Make it up.
I had to show up.
Yeah.
I had to present.
Yeah.
I had to train. And then afterwards, I could hear in his voice that it was done purposely.
Yes.
To get me out of my comfort zone, to stretch me, but to expedite it.
Yeah.
Something I would have done naturally weeks down the road or months down the road. No, it had to happen now.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I understand about life and about time.
Powerful.
The only thing that is real
Powerful.
is the everlasting, ever-present now,
Powerful.
right now.
If you're taking notes, jot that down. Someday, you may fill a Zoom, you may fill a room, and you're gonna have to present.
So be prepared. Be ready, so you
ready.
don't have to get ready.
Correct. And you know, with that, I want to segue into a topic that we had some conversation about last night, which is you having 27 plus years, the difference in the industry and network marketing from back then to today. Like, you know, if you could just highlight some of the distinctions you're seeing right now, you know, in, I would say, the professional network marketer.
You know, that was a striking conversation.
It was.
No, it was thought-provoking. You know, I just feel like today we use people. We just use people, you know, to make money. You know, like we use people to build our businesses.
Yeah.
I feel like in the beginning, we could actually use the business to build the people.
Wow. Take a note.
And that difference was a mindset coming from leadership. When I came into this industry, it was very dignified to be a professional network marketer, to be a professional at building sales teams and distribution networks,
Yeah.
to be able to go into a city, in any state, any country, any region of the world, and give a person 30 days. And even if they knew no one, in 30 days they would have a team
Yeah.
because they had the principles and the skill set. And I've challenged myself in that vein a couple times.
Yeah.
Nothing more rewarding.
Wow.
Whether it was Trinidad,
Yeah.
whether it was London in the UK, whether it was New Orleans, Louisiana, you know, to know what it feels like to get off a plane and touch soil, boots on ground. No one doing your company or having access to your products. And just begin with the end in mind, turning small segments of the cold market warm, working with your products, working with a vision, understanding how to present, but learning those principles. And being willing to add value to a community and watching it happen.
Yeah.
So the idea of what it is to be a leader has changed. Adding value to people's lives, understanding the principles that make you a professional. I feel like now many people are attracted to the hustle
Yeah.
and the quick fix.
Yes.
And there's not enough compassion, there's not enough ministry.
Powerful.
Because I will say that is what our business has always been.
Yes.
Especially when we were blessed to be in the health and wellness space. But regardless, financial literacy was a ministry.
Yes.
Personal growth and development was a ministry. Vision casting was always a ministry. And so I believe that is something we have to get back to.
So are you saying that there's a distinction between a hustler and a network marketing professional?
And most network marketing professionals are hustlers.
Yeah.
However, we are the refined version.
Ah.
Because with that refinement, we don't lose a sense of humanity and service.
Yeah.
Because servant leadership is the highest threshold of leadership.
Servant leadership.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Powerful. Two things I want to personally share, two concepts that you shared with me that, you know, I just want to, bring up and then have us speak a bit about it. I remember a time we were having a conversation and you said, Keeshon, let me ask you a question. Why is this company the best company in the world? And, you know, I thought about it for some time. And of course, the answer you were looking for, I didn't have it at that time. And then you went on to help me with the answer. You said it's not because of the product. It's not because of the compensation. Because products and compensation plans can be duplicated by other companies. And you shared something with me that literally skyrocketed my career because I still hold to that concept to this day. You said, Keeshon, The reason this company is number one, it's because you're involved. You are the distinction. You are the difference. And of course, you segue into the conversation of the individual, the network marketing professional, being and bringing value to the marketplace.
Yes.
And since that conversation, I've centered my entire business around personal growth and development, developing and then disseminating value.
Wow. Man, that is so powerful. Because everything is energy.
Yeah.
You can feel the energy right now. And the one thing I wanted to impart on you at that time, especially, was posture.
Yeah.
And because it was apparent that you were a force to be reckoned with. And whatever, I could do, and that's the key. So the posture starts with the mindset.
Yeah.
And an empowered mindset, a man who can walk into a room with the proper posture, knowing how to create value, knowing how to cast a vision, is unstoppable.
Correct.
Is unstoppable. And so, when you put it all together, it's a lethal formula,
Yeah.
right? Again, the professionalism, respecting the principles, being postured, knowing how to add value, knowing how to vision cast, and caring for people. Yeah. That's the complete package, my brother.
Powerful, powerful. One other concept that, did it for me as well, and I have to include this because, a lot of people, when they connect with persons who have success or even access to money, they enter their spaces with their hands open and not their heads open. And I remember there was a time we were making a shift with regard to companies. And you said, you gave me the call. You said, Keeshon, we're going to make a shift, right? And I'm going to give you a position in this company so that you could, have a position of equity. And you said, I'm going to give you 7 days, I believe. Can't remember the exact days, but let's say it was 7 days. I'm going to give you 7 days, not just to make a decision, but to get the resources to position yourself. And you told me, I'm not certain if you have the money, but even if you don't have the money, it's about going into yourself and becoming resourceful. And I remember you saying this, you said, it's not about the money because I can sign you up, but I'm not going to do that because on this journey, we have to be evenly yoked spiritually to enter the next step. And that conversation shifted my career on so many levels because you were ultimately teaching me how to dig into myself, even if I didn't have resources, how to become a well of resourcefulness. And the reality is I did not have the money at that time, but I respected the spiritual law so much that I went out, and in 7 days I was in the network. I got involved. And I want to, have us speak a bit about that to the person who onlooking, saying, I want to get involved with these guys, but I don't have the money.
No, that's a blessed experience.
Yeah.
Because those 7 days were transformative.
It was.
It wasn't about, in life, right? It's not about the situation
Correct.
that you find yourself in. It's how you respond. And it's who you became in those 7 days.
Yeah.
I've been in this position a lot of times. Where I could see, good or greatness in a person on some level, right? And we all have the same story, and sometimes it's an excuse. They want it, but they don't have the money, right? And I tell them, man, that is so exciting. Because what you have to go through in the next 72 hours to manifest that money, to invent a new possibility, to lean on your wealth consciousness, your
Yes.
abundance consciousness, to draw it to you
Yes.
by any means necessary,
Yes.
is going to make you a greater version of yourself.
Yeah.
And I salute, and I'm excited about your journey. And I'll tell you something, it's a beautiful thing to watch the winners separate themselves from the losers.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens in that moment. In that moment. Not to say that, you know, it's a character indictment that is permanent. But those who find a way, they grow and mature and they become something instantly, and it's amazing. So that's the key.
Powerful.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really great, man.
Friends, with that said, I want to say that definitely you should look out for more videos from Mr. Brown and myself.
Yes.
Who knows, we're going to start a podcast where monthly, you know, we drop golden nuggets to the network marketing community, because we're ultimately committed to helping you grow.
Yes.
That's what Mr. Brown has been doing for 27 plus years. I've been doing it 13 plus years.
Yes.
God's Spear Life. We're going to do this until the Lord is ready for us.
I agree.
Correct. So, see you on the beaches of the world. Any last comments for the audience?
Hey, blessings to you. Remember, in life, freedom is not free. And you will always have a price to pay.
Correct.
My advice, pay that price up front and full.
Let's go! Drop some comments. You can ask us some questions if you like, so that at future events, we're going to answer the questions that you have for us, and we're going to bring that information to you. Right? Have a great one. Subscribe. Let's go.
Let's go.
That was good, sir.